Good afternoon, I'm Ray Collins. Our top story, the Amber Alert has been lifted for the 4 missing Bradenton children. They were found in Alabama and are now safe. 2 guests at a Hampton Inn recognized the kids in the lobby and promptly called police. Their mother, and she is now being held in Alabama on a charge of aggravated battery. She did not have legal custody of her kids. The children are now in temporary care in Alabama until they can be returned to Manatee County. New developments now around the Florida nursing home where a 10th patient has passed away in the wake of Hurricane Irma. The facility lost power during the storm. The first 8 patients died 3 days after Irma struck. The 9th patient died earlier this week. The state has suspended the facility's license while the owners have sued the state, trying to block that action. Meantime, criminal investigations are also underway. Governor Rick Scott says Florida law enforcement and first responders can enjoy license-free fishing. It's all in recognition of their life-saving work preparing and responding during Hurricane Irma. The state is also offering free day passes to Florida state parks. These can be used until October of next year for all law enforcement officers, first responders, and utility workers. It is the first day of fall at 4 o'clock today. Here is Steve Newman for John Scalzi.
4:02.
4:02 today.
That's when the sun passes southward over the celestial equator, day and night of equal length. Pretty much.
There you go.
They're about 7 minutes off, but we'll talk about that some other time. We look at our satellite view out over the, there's Hurricane Maria. It has been churning around the Turks and Caicos Islands for the last day. The conditions improving over Hispaniola, and that will continue to happen. And from now on, it looks like Maria is not going to be a problem. You can see the eye very clearly defined there just to the northeast of the Turks and Caicos, not affecting our weather. We do have, however, some storms off the Atlantic coast that will be blowing in our direction as the afternoon goes on. And you can see they're really building up on radar now that the sun is up and we're getting a lot more of the daytime heating. And you can see the movement is generally from east to west in our direction. The Futurecast, our future radar for today, shows a considerable amount of thunderstorms develop in the afternoon, blowing over us late in the afternoon through the early evening hours, and then clearing out toward 7, 8 o'clock. So it might be a little wet if you're heading out on the town tonight early on about 7 or 8, but the rest of the night should be nice. You can see the high temperatures topping off at about 88, 89, 90 degrees, and the chance of rain also peaking around 6 or 7 o'clock this afternoon. Our complete forecast and a more detailed look at the tropics coming up in just a few minutes. Ray?
All right, thank you, Steve. Now, as Steve said, Maria remains a major hurricane today. It is lashing the Turks and Caicos as a Category 3 storm. Meantime, residents in Maria's wake are trying to pick up the pieces. Elizabeth Herr has details of ongoing rescue attempts.
Hurricane Maria still on the move, slamming Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas this morning after wreaking havoc in the Dominican Republic and leaving a path of death and destruction across the Caribbean. In Dominica, at least 15 people were killed. In Puerto Rico, the entire island is still without power and the damage catastrophic.
Now that we're south of town, we're seeing some damage that actually looks almost like a tornado came through. Clearly, this is the path of the eye when it came through.
ABC's Rob Marciano is in Puerto Rico, where Hurricane Maria made landfall and the situation growing dire.
We need diesel for the generator. We need light. We need water.
Maria Ortiz taking ABC News to a nursing home for now running on this generator, and inside, these vulnerable victims, frail and dehydrated.
We can't let them die. We can't let them die.
Authorities say search crews are working around the clock, and overnight, the Coast Guard released this video showing ongoing rescues. The Navy is in the U.S. Virgin Islands evacuating residents where the only electricity there is also from generators. And more help is on the way. FEMA is sending generators, water, and portable shelters to Puerto Rico, and airlines, well, they're hoping to resume flights there perhaps as early as today. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
The governor of New York is on his way to Puerto Rico with generators, as she just said. Engineers are also taking drones to help with power restoration. Other supplies include bottles of water, ready-to-eat meals, cots, and blankets as well. All right, let's check it on Wall Street now. Jeff Stern joins us. And Jeff, a record week on Wall Street.
That's right, Ray. The Dow has been crushing it, I should say, over the last couple of weeks, and this week still. Day after day after day, records. Thursday, unfortunately, was the first down day, but for the week, 0.39% in the positive. NASDAQ hit a record earlier this week as well. Fortunately, they're negative, actually about 3.9 for the week. S&P is pretty much flat, but we saw some records as well. We know Mercedes is going to spend $1 billion to try to get their cars electric by 2020, so we still have a couple of years to wait for that. 10-year Treasury's been creeping up a little bit, 2.25%, so that's pretty positive for a lot of people. And as well, the heiress of L'Oreal actually passed away. She was the richest woman in the world, worth about $40 billion. That stock is positive today. So far, the futures were down, so let's see how we're currently trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, 22,332, down 27 points, 0.12% in the negative, while NASDAQ is negative as well, 6,417, down almost 6 points, 0.1%. S&P 2,498, down almost 2 points, 0.08% in the negative.
I want to ask you before we leave about Uber. It has done relatively well in this country, disrupted the taxi cab industry, but Uber is hitting some problems now overseas, I understand.
Big problems, Ray. London is not going to renew their license starting October 1st. Not good for Uber. The transportation authorities say they're not fit and proper. They don't like how they report their criminal offenses, and as well as their software prevents regulators and law enforcement from monitoring them. They really say safety of the customer is the #1 as far as London is concerned. There's 40,000 licensed drivers just in London, 3.5 million users, so this will be a huge uptick. Black Cab is the big company there, and they're really pushing this through politicians as well as residents. They say, we know Uber has many issues on the corporate side. We know the CEO stepped down for the way that it dealt with some issues, including sexual harassment. There may be a lot of unreported issues between drivers as well as passengers. Uber operates in over 700 cities, pretty impressive, all over the world. The company's valued, get this, $68 billion. It's the largest private company out there. There were talks of going public, Ray, but with all of this, and who knows what's going to happen in London, but as of now, as of October 1st, you will not be able to get an Uber in London. So wow. I have a feeling the public offering is going to be pushed back even further.
Very interesting difference over there than here. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Have a good weekend.
Enjoy yours, Ray.
Up next, Chef Judy has a special dish in honor of the Jewish New Year. Stay with us.
7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac. Hurricane season is here, and so is the ABC 7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with your pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the ABC 7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
As a singer-songwriter, it's all about creating high-performance art that moves people. Same is true in making gorgeous cars. Fiat designs it. You're the artist.
Choose your palette just about any color combo inside out. No small wonder, state-of-the-art style Fiat. Now this moves me.
Oh, they're playing my song.
Let the art of Fiat move you at Fiat of Sarasota.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Watch your Suncoast News at 6 on your streaming device for a chance to win a $50 Visa. It's easy. Just watch weekdays at 6 for the word of the week. Then enter the word at mysuncoast.com for your shot at a $50 Visa. We'll pick the winner each week. Good luck. Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
What a beautiful day in progress across the Suncoast. A great start to the first weekend of fall coming across. But clouds are thickening, the moisture is building, and we'll have some afternoon and evening thunderstorms across the area, and they're kind of welcome. It's been dry for a spell, and we need that cooling influence of those storms in the afternoon. I don't think they're going to be that heavy to cause any additional flooding problems. 85 the temperature at the airport at noon with a dew point of 72. That's pretty humid. And the equinox, the pretty much equal day and night, the sun passing southward over the celestial equator, occurs at 4:02. But it's not exactly 12 hours of day and 12 hours night. There's about a 7-minute difference, as you can see here, because the Earth doesn't orbit perfectly in a perfect circle around the sun, and there are other astronomical vagaries that cause that little slight discrepancy. Well, we do have an advancing Atlantic sea breeze coming our way. You can see it down around the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, and there's more developing up along the Space Coast and the First Coast that will be approaching us during the afternoon and evening. And this is Hurricane Maria, still a Category 3 storm with a very impressive eye. Now, it's not that pinhole eye that we saw over Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands and back in Dominica, but it is a very distinctive eye. It will continue to weaken very slowly, but it's going to be around for about another week. Taking a look at the official track from the National Hurricane Center, with 125-mile-an-hour winds, Maria is predicted to move well off the Atlantic coast. In fact, it's going to be about halfway between Bermuda and the United States, which means things are looking pretty darn good for us and maybe more high surf. But this is going to be a storm that mainly affects fish across the area and maybe ships at sea. And we're fairly confident in this forecast because the spaghetti plot of models pretty much uniformly, except for a couple of outliers you'll see in a second here. We're totally discounting this. It's going to remain well out to sea, perhaps brushing maritime Canada in about a week's time. And here's our futurecast showing those thunderstorms over the area, not only this afternoon, but again tomorrow afternoon, developing about 4 or 5 in the afternoon and then dissipating and maturing around 7 or 8 in the afternoon. So here's your marine forecast. Looks like a great day today and tomorrow on the open water if you can dodge the thunderstorms. North wind 10 knots, seas 2 feet or less. Beach temperature this afternoon 88, the water temperature 84. Still, even at the equinox with 12 hours day, 12 hours night, the UV index is still 9. Make sure you don't forget the sunscreen, even needed here in the middle of winter actually. So here's our forecast for the rest of today. It'll be sunny and warm, except increasing clouds in the afternoon with a 50% chance of thunderstorms developing. The high 90, pretty close to normal with those northeast winds. And here's your 7-day outlook. 50% not only today, the same on Saturday, pretty close on Sunday. And I think drier air will begin sinking over us Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on the periphery of Hurricane Maria, giving us a break from the rain again and pretty nice temperatures. And that's our weather, Ray.
Thank you, Steve. When it comes to how President Trump is handling health care, a new CNN poll shows 31% in favor and 59% approve among those most concerned parents of children with pre-existing conditions. Reporter Brianna Keeler has one mother's story.
Ready, boo-boo? 1, 2, 3, up.
When little Xiomara was born, it was a dream come true for her mother, Elena Hung.
I got to hold her right away, got to kiss her right away. And then they checked on her and they said, okay, let's just make sure everything's okay.
Quickly, it was clear something was wrong. Her oxygen levels were low. At 11 days old, Xiomara had heart surgery, but it didn't fix the problem.
She just wouldn't breathe on her own.
She couldn't breathe on her own. We couldn't get her off oxygen support.
Xiomara also had an underdeveloped airway, lungs, and kidneys. She spent her infancy in the neonatal intensive care unit.
How long was the stay?
She was there for 5 months.
And how much did it cost?
It was roughly $3 million when we got the total bill.
That bill covered by employer-provided insurance, but also Medicaid, which kicks in to help cover kids like Xiomara who have complicated medical conditions.
Let's head down to the PT room.
As Republicans consider a new Obamacare repeal,
Good job, big girl.
which would cut Medicaid funding, entrust states to make changes that could cap the amount insurance companies must cover for certain medical conditions, and also make insurance impossibly expensive for some patients with pre-existing conditions.
Hi, boo-boo.
Elena is worried for Xiomara and kids like her.
Xiomara has 10 pre-existing conditions that she was born with.
So Elena has taken her concerns straight up to Capitol Hill with Xiomara in tow. Today she stopped by the office of John McCain. The senator hasn't publicly decided how he'll vote on the new health care bill. Elena is from Maryland, but she has formed a group called Little Lobbyists to represent families like hers around the country, including the Carricks from McCain's state of Arizona. Elena has told Xiomara's story at press conferences and implored Republicans to protect her daughter.
My husband and I, we both have professional degrees. We have good paying jobs, excellent health insurance, savings in the bank. We're financially responsible. We did everything right, and no matter how responsible you are, you cannot prepare for an extra $3 million.
The Little Lobbyists have visited all 100 Senate offices. So far, 19 senators have granted them meetings. The only Republican, Jeff Flake, who still voted to repeal Obamacare in June shortly after meeting the families. At Republican offices, they are mostly met by staffers.
We have been surprised at how often a staffer just does not understand what Medicaid means to families like ours.
Elena says they often leave those meetings with few specifics about how their kids would be protected under that new proposed bill. All right, time for lunch. Here's Chef Judy.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone. You know, Rosh Hashanah is here and the season of the Jewish holidays. Apples and honey are how we love to celebrate, and with delicious things like cinnamon babka. And I'm so excited because it gets a little frustrating. Sometimes you go into a grocery store and matzah is for Passover in the spring, and yet they'll put out matzah and things like that for Rosh Hashanah. And Rosh Hashanah in our celebrating of the New Year is all about the sweet New Year. So we're making briskets and roast turkeys and roast chickens and cinnamon babka. And I'm so excited because the Fresh Market is now carrying a brand of cinnamon babka. They have both cinnamon and chocolate. Since I'm not a chocolate fan, I'm going with the cinnamon. My nanny used to make it homemade, 2 varieties, one always chocolate, but it's basically a rolled sweet bread, and you can see it's layers of cinnamon. Today I'm gonna saute up some apples and bring some goodness together with brown butter, and we're gonna have the perfect brunch or holiday dessert. So stay with me, I'll be back in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Judy. Still to come on your Suncoast News at noon, rescuers in Mexico City are working night and day to recover survivors, and also a beer company is offering free rides to avoid drunk driving.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-800-558-8779.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
If you were watching closely just now, you might have seen me duck before that previous commercial. We have a bird in a cage, but was let out and almost came right at me. Let's go to Steve and Marcia with more on this unusual situation. Marcia, what do you have left to show about this bird exhibit now?
Here's Maxie. Maxie's fine.
Yes.
She's up in our rafters here. She's sitting on our lights.
We have a
Steve.
new permanent resident in the ABC studio. We'll leave food out at night.
But this is what we have of Maxie. But Maxie is an Indian ringneck.
A beautiful bird, too.
She's gorgeous. Yeah. And she's loving, and she loves to fly, obviously.
Likes the warm lights, apparently.
Yes, she does. And she's kind of looking at us from up above.
And won't come down.
She won't come down right now. But she's 8 years young.
Yes.
And she's part of the parakeet family.
Right.
Now, the parakeets live long lives.
They do.
So now we're talking about probably a 30-year lifespan, and we're watching here also. We're kind of giggling because we're trying to get Maxie down from the rafters, and she's just enjoying the entire studio here. But here we are. Here's Maxie.
So since we don't have Maxie, we have two beautiful lovebirds. These are, they're called?
We're calling them Romeo and Juliet. Now, they are truly lovebirds. They need to be together.
Yes.
These are very, very young. They're only about 6 months old. And look at the beautiful coloring.
They're just adorable.
One is teal and one is purple. And, you know, they just coo all day, and they're talking to each other, and obviously you can then have a little chatter with them also.
And how do they come to be in our care right now?
Well, they came to Birds of Paradise, which is directed by Debbie Huckabee, good friend of Dante's Den, and Animal Outtakes. And she has been receiving birds, of course, after the hurricane.
Right.
And these were two that did come.
They're just adorable, and they're really bonded, clearly bonded with each other.
Yes, and of course they can't be separated.
Nope.
Well, Romeo and Juliet weren't either, you know, so they have to go together. And, you know, I'll tell you, there's something about birds that that is, not only are they beautiful, but there's something serene about them. They just kind of live in their own world.
Right.
And
they're not like these are not like parakeets. These are more quiet than parakeets.
No, these are a little bit more quiet. Now, Maxie, of course.
Come down, Maxie.
Maxie, where are you? Maxie, on the other hand, will be a little bit more chattering with you and has some sort of a vocabulary.
So Maxie's about this big, since she's not here.
Yeah, it's about yay. And, but you know what? That's what this is all about. This is live television, and this is animals. And animals entertain us.
So how do we get these birds adopted?
And we're going to give them a home, and you'll need to call Birds of Paradise. And you fill out an application, and of course they have a process that you follow. And you can call 888-366-9997. And you can say that you'd like to see Romeo and Juliet. We guarantee you Maxie will be back by the time.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am very, very sure about that.
If not, we have a new guest.
We do.
Thanks, Marcia. Appreciate it. Founder of Dante's Den. And I'll be out at Dante's with my dog that I adopted from her a few months ago for his vaccination.
Yeah, for his vaccination. We can't wait to see Max.
That's it, Ray.
You know, one of my first times filling in, a cat got loose from Josh Stone's lap, and this time a bird flies away. So I'm betting about 33% watching this pet segment so far. Let's change gears, talk about lunch once again. Here's Chef Judy.
Welcome back. So as I mentioned, for the Jewish holidays, I'm working with cinnamon babka that I picked up at the Fresh Market. Now, if you want to know more about apples in general and which type of apples for a pie and different things like that, you can watch this Suncoast View from just a few days ago. On Wednesday, I did a whole segment about which apples for which type of baking. Today I'm going to use a combination of Braeburn and Granny Smith. So I've peeled some Granny Smith, and what I'm going to do is add a few Braeburns. Braeburns are going to hold up a little better than a Macintosh. Macintosh is great for applesauce, and I'll serve homemade applesauce along with my brisket, of course, I did the other night, and I'll have it again over the weekend. So we're going to take the apple, and if you don't have an apple core, let's just get 4 good quarters out of that. Then lay it on its side, and with a sharp knife, we're going to get some thin slices going, okay? Now, what I want you to do is take some unsalted butter, nice creamy unsalted butter, and we're going to make a little brown butter in the pan, which is really easy because you just want to watch it. You don't want to burn the butter, but you can see just already on the sides you get, and this isn't clarified butter, it's not ghee, but you can see where the brown is happening. You're watching the foam, that's how you're going to incorporate it in, and you know that it's browning well. Save your peels for your compost pile or to pour in some apple cider to keep on the burner, have nice and warm, and you can stick cloves on this just like you would with orange peel. So that's another way that you can do it. So let's get the apples in the pan. The butter's browned, it's not too hot. Adding the apples is going to chill the pan of butter down a little bit, which is kind of the perfect mode we want to be in. So we want to give them just a little saute. Okay, now because they're going to saute and be exposed to the air, the oxygen that's going to add a little brownness to them, I'm just going to take off these few seeds right there, and I'm going to give it a squeeze of citrus, and that's going to just hold the color up, okay? I love to serve something more like a brunch type of dessert for my holiday cooking. So when we come back, let's finish this up. We'll do some cinnamon whipped cream. I'll show you the babka, and we will get it all layered, and it's going to be just perfect. I'll be right back, and we'll continue cooking.
The Alfa Romeo Stelvio takes the modern compact luxury crossover and injects it with personality.
Every crossover should be this good to drive.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill, I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Attention Sarasota and surrounding cities. After 25 years in Sarasota, Bacon's Furniture and Design will be moving to create Southwest Florida's largest and most dynamic furniture store. We must liquidate everything in the store at huge savings as fast as possible. Do not miss this opportunity to purchase quality sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, patio furniture, mattresses, and more. All at the absolute lowest prices possible. The Bacon's Furniture and Design relocation sell-off. Nobody beats Bacon's.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today.
We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262.
I went in skeptical and came away impressed.
Stelvio can spring from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds, a segment best.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A former Sarasota County Sheriff deputy is facing another charge while he awaits trial. Prosecutors have added a charge of kidnapping against Frankie Bybee, who is already facing charges including attempted murder and theft. Bybee was arrested back in January after a 79-year-old woman claimed he stole thousands of dollars from her and tried to kill her. Bybee has denied the charges. He goes on trial in Sarasota County next week. In the wake of Hurricane Irma, neighbors are helping neighbors at a mobile home park in Ellenton. Signs of the storm can still be spotted easily throughout the Colony Cove retirement community. People who live there say about a third of the homes have been damaged. The community held a hurricane relief concert last night to raise funds for their neighbors.
We have an awful lot of seniors that are on very strict fixed income, that are not able to afford to get their homes fixed. Also, a lot of them lost a lot of food.
This community, we don't live together, but we take care of each other, and I've never seen that anywhere else. And I'm glad everybody's come out, donating their time, money, and everything. It's a wonderful blessing.
If you want to help the Colony Cove victims in Ellenton, log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. From the hurricane to the earthquake now, the number of killed in Mexico earlier this week is now up to 286 victims. Rescue workers are in a race against time, trying to find anybody perhaps still trapped under the collapsed buildings. Omar Jimenez has the latest from Mexico City.
Race against time in Mexico City as rescue workers press on with the search for survivors. It's been 3 days since the 7.1 magnitude earthquake rocked central Mexico, killing hundreds and turning building after building into rubble.
We felt like we were going to die. The entire house shook. Everything fell. Lamps broke. We went out onto the street. People were crying and running.
Search and rescue efforts have been bolstered by an army of volunteers, forming human chains to pass along supplies and clear debris.
After confirming my loved ones were okay, I went to the school where they were asking for help. The first to arrive were all volunteers.
Rescue workers press on, even though the chances of survival diminish as time passes.
It just really depends on the health of the person that's in there, what they have with them, and the weather.
The scale of the damage outside Mexico City is only now becoming clear, but assistance has been slower to arrive in those hard-hit towns close to the epicenter of the quake. But throughout the tragedy, the resilience of the people remains on display.
The spirit of the Mexicans always unites us, always lifts us. The resilience in Mexico is a characteristic we always hold on to. We always get back on our feet.
Now, as for the girl who was supposedly trapped under the rubble inside her school, rescue workers are now saying she was never there. All the students at that particular school are accounted for, and they apologized for the confusion. All right, time for First Alert Weather. Steve Newman joins us with a feather.
From Maxie, where art thou? Up in the rafters.
If you just tuned in, you missed some great TV during our pet segment. The bird flew away. It's in the rafters right now.
Oh, there it is. We got a picture of it. Look at that. A silhouette. Isn't that beautiful? We have a new full-time resident in the ABC7 News studio. We'll leave feed out at night, and occasionally we can have a new webcam.
That was a first for me.
Maxi-cam.
When the bird came out of the cage and started flapping toward me when I was reading a serious story. First in my career.
Well, this is the first in my career that we've had 3 major hurricanes hit the United States in a single year. You can see Maria out there skirting the Turks and Caicos Islands right now. After this, it's going to be in the open Atlantic and will not cause any further problems for populated areas. And it's not causing any problems for us either. You can see a line of thunderstorms developing along the Atlantic coast that are going to drift this way and eventually bring us a pretty good chance at rain showers this afternoon and this evening. Radar shows the sweep of those storms, and it's a sea breeze front coming in from like Miami-Dade up to about Jupiter heading in our direction. You can see the movement of those storms gradually toward the west in our direction. And our futurecast, our future radar for today shows what the radar scopes will look somewhat like as the day progresses, just getting very moist and juicy thunderstorms late afternoon, evening hours, and then clearing out. Our temperature forecast shows we will warm up into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees across the area. And the rainfall prediction graph, it looks like 6, 7 o'clock. Somewhere in through there, we'll have the greatest chance of rain. I'll be back with the complete forecast rain in just a few minutes.
All right, Steve, talk to you soon. Thank you. It didn't take long for President Trump to lash back at North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Today, the president tweeted, "He is obviously a madman who doesn't mind starving or killing his people. He'll be tested like never before," end quote. And now the president's announcing the U.S. will expand sanctions on North Korea. CNN's Brian Todd tells us what those sanctions will include.
The regime that compared Donald Trump's threats to a barking dog may soon feel his bite. In an effort to put the squeeze on Kim Jong-un, the president unleashed new tools for the U.S. to block North Korea's finances, hoping to get the aggressive young leader to stop building his nuclear and missile programs.
It is unacceptable that others financially support this criminal rogue regime.
The president is going after those others by giving the Treasury Department more authority to sanction banks, companies, and individuals doing business with North Korea.
Potentially, we could see some heavy-hitting sanctions on foreign companies coming in the very near future.
But completely cutting off Kim's cash stream for his weapons will be very difficult. Analysts say the dictator and his cronies are creative and deceptive in getting around sanctions.
One of the ways they skirt sanctions is by setting up front companies.
Just one example of those alleged front companies, CNN has learned, is called Glocom. UN investigators say the company, which sells military gear like this seized communications equipment, is listed as being based in Malaysia. But the UN says it's really linked to North Korea's spy agency. Analysts say a company like Glocom is hard to catch because it acts like a chameleon.
If it's operating in Vietnam, it will try to look Vietnamese. If it's operating in Malaysia, it will try to look Malaysian.
Another alleged deception from Pyongyang and its partners, shady shipping. The Treasury Department last week said it believes some ships, like this one it tracked from China, turn off their transponders when they pass North Korea, to hide the fact that they divert there to pick up coal purchased from Kim's regime. North Korea also sells weapons overseas illegally, like this intercepted shipment including 30,000 North Korean rocket-propelled grenades hidden under a load of iron ore. And experts say Kim's regime partners with criminal networks in China and even in the U.S. to smuggle counterfeit goods.
It's been known to counterfeit pharmaceuticals and cigarettes and even engage in the trade of illegal wildlife products.
Analysts say the money Kim makes each year from illicit businesses that skirt sanctions is staggering.
If you combine arms, counterfeiting, drug trafficking, and so on, you're in a figure that's over $1 billion. And in a country that only exports about $3 billion a year, that's a very substantial source of revenue.
Analysts say the bottom line is that none of these sanctions will likely get Kim Jong-un to give up his nuclear and missile programs. They say what the sanctions may do, if they squeeze him tightly enough economically, is get Kim to the negotiating table with his rivals. But only, they say, if the loopholes in the sanctions are closed up and the sanctions are really enforced against North Korea. Brian Todd, Washington.
So in the meantime, the administration is giving more sanctioning power to the U.S. Treasury Department. Well, this was bound to happen some year. Police in Tennessee answered calls about reports of a possible gruesome crime scene. But when they arrived, they found it was some Halloween decorations that might have gone too far. Justin Soto has our story.
In fact, I didn't know what happened until I'd already went by. I saw the blood.
That was just part of Johnny Riddle's nerve-wracking 911 call Wednesday morning in Greene County. He was heading to work when he saw this in his neighbor's driveway.
I thought it was somebody. I thought somebody was laying up there on the driveway. I told them what happened, and they said, we'll send somebody out to check it.
This morning about 10 o'clock, I get a pounding on the door.
And it was the Greene County Sheriff's Office. Thinking it was serious, several deputies responded to Joseph Lovergene's home.
I said, thank you guys for caring, but I'm doing just fine.
That body in the driveway, clothing stuffed with paper.
When the police came today, they pulled the boot off to make sure there wasn't a person in there.
And the blood.
Food coloring and hair gel.
Halloween fun for a family who starts early, getting ready for a party.
This was actually starting out as a joke, because when I have my Halloween party, I was actually going to dress up under there after everyone's seen it for so long, and then when they come out to get drinks or something, pop up out of the garage door and scare everybody.
A joke that Lovergene never thought would go this far.
But I thought it looked so real and so fun, and I hope people don't take offense to it.
Riddle says he's relieved what he saw Wednesday morning was all a joke.
How long have you lived out here?
Since 74.
And have you ever seen anything like that?
No. Never.
I don't blame them. Well, the Greene County Sheriff's Office posted a message on their Halloween decor on the Facebook page, and they tell residents to congratulate that homeowner on a great display and not to call 911. All right, shifting gears back to Chef Judy and today's lunch. Judy?
Welcome back. So we have our apples sauteing in the brown butter, and we'll just give it a little toss and a pinch of that lemon juice. And that's just going to help it keeping the vibrant color that we want. Now this time of year, you want to get out about a cup of sugar, and you want to add a good quality cinnamon. I like to use the Cambodian or Vietnamese cinnamon, is my personal choice, but I don't like to buy cinnamon in big containers because I want to hold on the integrity of that spice that it has, right? So this is fine. You might want to add a little allspice, apple pie spice to it. That can go in a baggie or in a glass bottle with a shaker, and you can get those over at restaurant supply stores and, of course, the Fresh Market. And then I have fresh cinnamon and sugar seasoning for the entire fall and winter season as we do the apples. So remember, we use the Granny Smith and a few Braeburns in this. Now, because I want to give a little moment to our Israeli roots, where pomegranates, fresh figs, things like that are so prominent. If you can't find fresh figs, no problem, but you are going to find the pomegranates. Now remember, this red stains your clothes, so be a little careful. So I give it just a little encouragement with my knife here, because what we're going for are these seeds, and then we're going to give it a tap, and the seeds will come out, and we'll have the beautiful pomegranate seeds that add great color and loaded with the antioxidants, so we can justify a little sugar and butter that's going to go on that as well, right? Two ways we can present this. One is we can take the cinnamon babka as it is, and I just have some individual cast iron pans, which are really nice to work with. I'm going to pour the apples on top, little drizzle of maple syrup, and I have some cinnamon whipped cream. I'm going to make sure I layer that up for goodness. So when I come back, we'll be able to just taste it all together and have a warm dessert. You don't have to be Jewish to love this recipe. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried, Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean, really moves me.
wonder.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice: choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
If there are any parakeet wranglers in the audience, we could use some help getting Maxie down from the lights up here. If you were watching earlier, we had a parakeet loose in the studio. I think he's going to be here for a while. Kind of pretty bird. I wouldn't mind him sticking around. You can see the clouds increasing during the day as a result of increased moisture and a line of thunderstorms approaching from the Atlantic. 85 the current temperature, dew point a moist 72 degrees, and it's going to get moister as the day goes on. There have been some storms around Miami. That's why they're a little cooler there, and those storms are the ones moving across the state at this hour. In our viewing area, temperatures have already warmed up close to 90 in Highlands County, but along the coast 85 at Longboat Key, Siesta, currently 86. And as we look at the satellite image, you can see those thunderstorms developing like a sea breeze front that is moving in our direction for the west. And we also look at Hurricane Maria, still around menacing the Turks and Caicos, but I think that's going to be the last geographical area that storm is going to bother. We'll look at the path in just a minute, but here is the eye of Maria, very clearly defined. It's not the pinhole, really tight eye we had that did so much catastrophic damage down in the Caribbean. And from now on, this is going to be affecting only fish and ships in the sea. The other part of the tropics we're looking at, there's possibility of a spin out in one of these tropical easterly waves in about a week's time. We're looking for that. And here is Maria. But this is the time of year in late September, early October, we have to pay attention to the Caribbean because there's a second peak in the hurricane season in early October when storms develop here and move very quickly up into the Gulf. And it can catch us by surprise sometimes. They can develop very quickly. This is what is left of Hurricane Jose, now off the coast of New England, post-tropical storm Jose, but it's still bringing tropical storm force winds in these bands over Cape Cod and parts of Massachusetts. It just does not seem to want to go away. Now we'll look at Hurricane Marie with 125-mile-an-hour winds, and we're fairly confident on this path because of all the computer models, or almost all of them, are predicting it remaining offshore, maybe skirting the maritime provinces of Canada about this time next week. It will not affect the Suncoast, and there are no immediate threats of tropical storms to the Suncoast as far ahead as we can see. Well, there is Maria. It'll go to the north, and these are the thunderstorms moving across the state today, passing over us and dissipating tonight. Then another round tomorrow coming in from the Atlantic over us late afternoon, early evening hours. And that pattern will continue into Sunday as well, and then things should dry out come Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Here's our forecast for today. It'll be sunny and warm with a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms developing. High temperature 89. That's pretty close to seasonal normal. And our 7-day outlook showing that 50% chance continuing for a couple of days. And then early next week, only a 20% chance of showers as drier air on the periphery of Hurricane Maria kind of sinks and falls on top of us. By the way, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Steve Newman TV. I appreciate you following me, and I'll be back for Wendy tomorrow night at 6:30 and 11. I think it's 7 and 11 tomorrow night. That's it, Ray.
All right, thank you, Steve. A beer company and a ride-sharing app are teaming up to make sure you get home safely each weekend for the rest of the year. Budweiser and Lyft are offering 10,000 pairs of $10 ride credits every Thursday for use over the weekend. Users will have to check Budweiser's Facebook or Instagram account at 2 p.m. each week to get a code for the rides. They can be used between 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. and are good for 3 days. Partiers hoping to cash in on the free rides will have to activate the code quickly because residents of major cities like New York, Boston, Atlanta, Miami will compete for the same pool of credits. Quite a cross promotion. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is back from paternity leave, and his digital baby, Facebook, is in some trouble. He held a Facebook Live event yesterday to discuss the thousands of ads it sold to Russian-linked accounts.
I wish I could tell you that we're going to be able to stop all interference, but that just wouldn't be realistic. There will always be bad actors in the world, and we can't prevent all governments from all interference. But we can make it harder. We can make it much harder. And that's what we're going to focus on doing. So today, I want to share the steps that we're taking to protect election integrity and make sure that Facebook is a force for good in democracy. And while the amount of problematic content that we've found so far remains relatively small, any attempted interference is a serious issue.
The content and information of those ads will be shared with congressional committees investigating Russian meddling into last year's election. Zuckerberg also pledged that the social media giant will do what it can to deal with election interference. Entertainment news is next. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Get the lowest prices of the year during the Ram Power Days event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Don't just settle for what's available at a smaller lot. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of Ram trucks. Get maximum cargo space and more comfort with a new Ram Quad Cab at rock bottom pricing. Or spread out in your spacious new Ram Crew Cab and save up to $10,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
It's Willamania at the Players Center as the Will Rogers Follies takes the stage September 27th. Part homespun humor and part Ziegfeld Follies, this toe-tapping Tony Award musical is the start of our wild Broadway series. So call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You need to catch Willamania.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
So here we have it. The cinnamon babka, just as it is beautiful. It's going to make a great French toast. We're going to serve it as an individual dessert. And because it's the Jewish New Year, some delicious orange blossom honey right on top. Topped it with cinnamon whipped cream. You can use pumpkin ice cream if you want. What I really love about it is we have that pop from the pomegranate, so it gives a little bit of the tartness in with the warm sauteed apples, and we can just make layers. This is going to sit perfectly with the cinnamon babka. If you want this recipe, just log on to www.mysuncoast.com. You'll find the recipe in the video. And as I mentioned, if you want more information about apples, look back for Wednesday's appearance and Thursday morning's appearance from the Suncoast View. We'll have all the apple information you need. Wishing you all a Shana Tova, a happy and a healthy and a sweet new year.
All right, thank you, Judy. Mercedes-Benz is planning a huge expansion in Alabama that includes adding hundreds of new jobs. The company plans to spend $1 billion to upgrade its production capabilities. Among the plans, make new electric SUV models and build a power plant. Mercedes says the investment will create 600 new jobs in communities near the Tuscaloosa plant. And back in this area, tomorrow is Museum Day Live, which means free admission at the Ringling Historic Spanish Point and the South Florida Museum. The only catch, you have to log into smithsonianmag.com. You can find the museum you'd like to check out and then download the tickets and support your local arts community. Well, certainly a eventful hour we have had. A bird got loose during the segment. All that's left is a feather right here.
And we have storms approaching from the east.
There you go. That's our show, folks. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday on Good Morning Suncoast.
The Alfa Romeo Stelvio takes the modern compact luxury crossover and injects it with personality.
Every crossover should be this good to drive.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.